Okay, so this is going to be our Chapter 9 homework video. I am going to use the illustrative problem for this chapter, and I'm not going to do what the illustrative problem is asking, because the illustrative problem gives you the answers, and all of those answers are just definitions in the book. So what we're going to do with that problem is a horizontal and a vertical analysis. Okay, so I've already put the problem in here, and so we can just start our analysis. Okay, so a horizontal analysis is a comparative statement that compares 1 year or multiple years together. So in this case, we only have 2010 and 2009. So we're only going to compare the 2 years. First thing you want to do in a horizontal analysis is decide what the dollar value change is. Okay, so our dollar value change in sales is our current year sales, cell D6, less our prior year sales, or cell E6. Okay, and then Sheets makes this really easy to do this horizontal analysis. So this is going to go really fast. Okay, so we have a change of 1.8 million, and the other part of horizontal analysis is knowing what that is in percentage terms. Okay, so in order to know what percentage change that is, we take the difference between the two, which is what we calculated here, and we divide that by our base year. So our difference is from 2009 to 2010, so we want to use 2009 as our base year difference. Okay. And I'm going to format that. Okay, so the cool part about Sheets now is that we can take take those two formulas, and using this little box or just copy and paste, and we can, copy that all the way down to our net income. Okay, I did it this way, and I know we have some errors, but I'm just going to quickly delete those because it's still faster this way. By the way, to select one, skip a few, and select another, I'm holding Control down on my keyboard. I think if you have a Mac, you would hold Command down and click. That allows you to select all of those at a time. And let's quickly just format this with our borders. Oh, I forgot that I had this default. Okay. So before we talk about what this means, now that we have our analysis done, let's go ahead and do a vertical analysis really fast as well. Okay, so for our vertical analysis, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of equate the 2 years to each other. So it's hard to compare 5 million to 3.2 million. Obviously, 5 million seems a lot better, but as a percentage, we want to see how this income statement looks percentage terms, and that'll help us understand how efficient we are in this case. Okay, so for this, I want to use net sales. You can use sales or net sales, but in this case, we're going to use net sales. Okay, so to get the percentage of each of these income statement items as a percentage of net sales, you're going to take that item. So we're on the sales line, so we'll take sales. We're going to divide sales by our net sales. Okay, so this is where understanding referential formulas is helpful. I want net sales to stay the same, but I also want it to move over to column E when I copy and paste this formula. But I don't want it to go down or up. Okay, so I'm going to lock in row 8 by putting a $ in front of the 8. And what that means is that D6 is a referential cell. It will adjust as we copy and paste formulas. And column D will adjust as we copy and paste formulas. But row 8 for this reference will not adjust. Okay, that's going to stay the same. Now the benefit of doing that, I will show you right here. So now that I have that, I'm going to copy it over. And oh, look at that. Now I have sales divided by net sales. If I copy both of those down, if I come all the way down here, I'm still taking other expense divided by net sales. So everything is in order the way it should be. Now I'm just going to take out that D or that $ to give you an idea of what will happen if you don't do that. Okay, so here is okay because I haven't gone down at all. But here, now I'm taking my sales returns divided by a blank cell instead of net sales. So I have to change that back to D8. And then if I look at this one, I have to change that one back to D8. Okay, so that's what we're trying to avoid there. So sales divided by net sales. And we're going to put a $ in front of the 8, and that locks in row 8. Okay, so let's copy this down. Let's delete those ones we don't need again. Let's put our border in. Okay. All right, so now that we have a horizontal analysis and a vertical analysis, let's think about both of these for just a second. So comparing the two, we have a $245,000 net income and a $211,000 net income. So year over year, we made an extra $34,000. That's pretty good, right? But if we take a look over here, our income, our $245,000, is only 4.9% of our net sales. And last year it was our $211,000 was 6.6% of our net sales. So basically what that means is that last year, 2009, we got to keep 6.6% of every dollar we sold. And this year, in 2010, we only got to keep 4.9% of every dollar we sold. Okay, so let's just say that you sell $100. Last year, we would have made $6.60. And this year, we only got $4.90. So what that means is that we are less efficient. We made more money, but it cost us more money per sale to make that extra $33,000. So the next part of this analysis is we want to figure out, well, we can see that that happened, but why did that happen? So let's go up to the top again and see what we can figure out here. Okay, so if we look at our analysis, we have 102 and 101%. Okay, so there's a little bit of a difference there caused by sales returns and allowances, $67,000 increase. So we had more stuff returned than last year, but $67,000 isn't a huge deal when you're selling $5 million worth. So let's keep going through this. Oh, okay, so here's one that appears to not really matter. We have a 65% change to a 68% change. That's not a big deal. But our cost of goods sold had a 63% change, and our sales only had a 56% change. Okay, so now we're getting to a bigger difference. And if you look at our increase in cost of goods sold, we have a $1.3 million increase in cost of goods sold. So this is probably where we were less efficient, is what we sold here was a direct cost for those goods, and that price may have increased. Okay, so if we go down and look at the rest of this, $186,000 increase, 14, so we actually did better there, and we did better here. So our total operating expenses actually decreased. So we don't have any problem there. Our income from operations went down, but again, that's attributed to our cost of goods sold. Other income and expense. Our other income is about the same. Our other expenses are about the same percentage-wise. Our income tax is a little more. You would expect that because we had more income. So as we go down through that statement, there's nothing else in the vertical or the horizontal analysis that points us to a reason for this difference. So our reason that we have here are kind of twofold. Primarily, it's our cost of goods sold increase, and then we had quite a few more returns and allowances. So as a manager, those are two areas that you'd want to focus some resources on, trying to see if you can decrease your cost of goods sold and create better products, or keep your customers happier so that you don't have so many returns. Okay, while we're in here, I just want to do a little bit on what the illustrative problem is actually supposed to be. Okay, so the first thing we're supposed to do is figure out working capital. And just so you know, I don't expect anybody to memorize all of these terms. You don't have to memorize what working capital is, current ratio, times interest charged earned, anything like that. You just need to be able to calculate them. And for me, what's most important is making sure that you're using referential formulas. Okay, so working capital, for example, is just current assets minus current liabilities. So I'm going to find my current assets. I'm going to subtract my current liabilities. Okay, if for that same problem you said 1500123 minus 750123, if you do that, you will get those wrong. Okay, if you do something like that, you will get it wrong. Okay, so make sure that you're using referential formulas for all of those ratios that you're going to be calculating in your homework this week. As always, if you have any questions that aren't answered in the video or the book, please feel free to reach out.